Welcome to Yeshiva Daf Shir, sponsor Lui Nishmas Armiak V'Sholom Namas Yitzchok. We're holding Bava Basra Daf Dalit. This is a recap of the shir that was given on Shabbos. We're starting Daf Gimel with base 6 lines down the wide lines. This is the Gemara. We're starting with a long story of Hordus. Hordus Avda Beis Chashmonoy. Hordus was a slave of Beis Chashmonoy. He wanted to marry this young girl. He heard a bas girl saying, any slave who rebels will be successful now. He went and killed all his owners, entire family, except for this child. When this child realized that he wants to marry her, she ran up to the roof. She screamed out, she said, anyone who says, I come from the household of Beis Chashmonoi, Avdu, that's an evet. The only one left is me, the girl. And I'm jumping from the roof to the floor, meaning she committed suicide. And first we're going to discuss if this fact that she committed suicide is allowed. They want to bring based on Shulchan Aruch that when a person knows he's going to be nenas, he has the right to commit suicide. So she felt she'll be nenas by the slave, so she committed suicide, and she announced, there's nobody left for my family. So for 7 years, Hordus put this girl bedush in honey. Some say he had a relationship with her. He get Amri Loi Bola, so he did not have. The Amri Loi, the one said they had a relationship with her, had the tamno, the reason he put her in honey, to calm his yitzir. The Amri Loi Bola, had the tamno kechet de nemru basmelech nosaf. And according to all why did he keep her? People did not know that she died, and they would say, she's probably married to her, and she stayed at home. Maharal says over here, it doesn't literally mean that he had a relationship with her with a dead body, but the fact that he left her there for the purpose of Yisuvi Yitzro is as if he had a relationship with her. It says the Gemara, who's the mandor at the darshan? Who are the people at darshan? That the only people who can be kings are your brothers and not slaves. They're the ones that darshan, Tersha Baal Peh. Once he came and killed all their Rabbanim. He let Bava ben Buto to ask Eitzah from him, and the first one named Yaakov pointed out why Bava ben Buto. Bava ben Buto was a very calm, very big moichel. He was moichel people. How do we know that? We know that from the Gemara in the Doran that says that this woman didn't understand her husband. He told her to go and put something on the door. She thought he meant Bava ben Buto. She put something on the head of Bava ben Buto. Bava ben Buto was moichel. Bava ben Buto was a very relaxed, moicheldik person. This is what I've done enough. Ahadele klilo diyali. He put a crown made of thorns coming from as Rashi says, from Hanoko. Sheret shekurim ha'tzoyin, the sorah kashik. So he put her name this crown that causes him to be blind. Here in the first point out why did he put a thorn? Why did he put a crown? He didn't want to just blind him, he wanted to look like he had by mistake. So Nakri Lane, it made Bava Buto blind. One day, Hordus comes and sits in front of Bava Buto. He says, look at this king, this slave, terrible slave. Only my Evit. What can I do? Only kneel to him. You should give him a klala, you should curse him. It says not to curse a king. Only I love Melech, who's not a king. Only Veliavi Ashir Belman, he's a rich man. It says not to curse even a rich man. And even if he's a Nosi, a representative, a leader, you should not be Mikala Nosi. Only boys in my samcho. Yeah, that's if someone acts properly. He's not acting properly. Only Mistafino meaning, I'm afraid, I don't want to go and curse the king. Only there's nobody to tell him. It's only me and you sitting over here. Whenever you say something, the birds can deliver it, meaning whatever you say can come to the other person. Omole Ano says, I'm the king. So if I would know the Rabbanon was so careful, I would never kill them. What should I do? How can I fix? How can I do tshuva? You took away the light of the world, go deal with the light of the world. Beis Hamikdash is the light of the world. He blinded the light of the world, the eye of the world. Go deal with the eye of the world. The Beis Hamikdash is called a nine, so this is the comparison. Maral says over here that the difference between the two Lashonos is the first Lashon talking about the actual light, the Torah, the light that Beis Hamikdash permeates. The second Lashon is talking about the physical Rabbanon and the physical Beis Hamikdash. But anyway, here you see it here in the Kudo, the Maral speaks about the Rechaim. The Beis Hamikdash and Torah come together. As we say in davening every day, Yotzor Fanecha Sheibon Beis Hamikdash Meher B'Meinu, the Secha Kein B'Sor Secha. So Beis Hamikdash and Torah come together. They're both the light of the world. They both are something that comes beyond the world. Ruchni, spirituality, come beyond the world. And Beis Hashem will speak about this more in the Shur Machshava on the Daf. So it says Hardus, I want to build Beis Hamikdash, but the Beis Hamikdash, I'm afraid of the Romans. The Romans were controlling Eretz Yisrael. Only Shoda Shlicho v'Leizel Shato v'Le'akav Shato v'Le'hardo Shato. So it said the Shlich takes a year to get from Eretz Yisrael to Rome. Around a year you will be there in Rome, and then a year to come back gives you 3 years. 3 years is enough time for you to rebuild Beis Hamikdash. And the Achiv you knock down Beis Hamikdash, then you rebuild this. We saw the previous Talmud that was the whole reason God to the Sugya, that he took down one Beis Hamikdash to build the Beis Hamikdash. Ovadach, he did that. Shochalei, so in Rome, they were smart in Rome. They figured out the trick. So he told him like this: if you didn't take down Beis Hamikdash, don't take it down yet. If they wanted to take it down eventually. If you did take it down, don't rebuild. If you took it down and rebuild it, you're a bad slave. The bad slaves, after they did something, then they ask permission. Your weapons on you, meaning you're a king, you think you're a king. Safrakan, we have here the book of Yuchsin, you're not a king, you're not a son of a king, you have no royalty. Hordus avdo kelanyo misavid, you're a released slave, and that's who you are and not nobody else. So my roko malchuso, the Lashon roko means king. Tichtiv anoiche yom rach u'mashuach melech. Tivay seimo deocho the karulfon of avrech. So you see the Lashon rach reference a king. Omar mishaliro om amr mishaliro binyan hordus lero binyan noem yomov. The building of Hordus was the most beautiful building. That's the design that we have today in Yerushalayim. It was a gorgeous building of Beis Hamikdash. How did he build it? Which stones did he use? She says shisha, I think that's a marble. The shisha is a green marble and marmara is a white marble. Also blue marble. One row was in, one row was out. So you'll hold on to the plaster. So the Mishib I wanted to cover with gold. Leave it. The Hachashav, this is better. The Michsaki Devos of the Yoma looks like the waves of the sea. Interesting, you have Rabbanon over here. We said there's only Bo and Buta left. So Toys mentions the previous Talmud, there was other Rabbanon left, but the majority of Rabbanon were killed. So how do you do that? Why was the Nil punished? He gave advice to Nebuchadnezzar, Malki, King, listen to me to this Eitzah. How are you going to redeem your sins? The tzedakah part, we're giving tzedakah. And your avoidance, by giving poor people to live. Then he'll give you a little lengthy to your shalva, to your kingdom. All the clothes came on Nebuchadnezzar. It took 12 months. In other words, the Nil when Nebuchadnezzar was kind of nevuah that he's going to be punished, Daniel told him, if you want a little bit to lengthen your malchus, give it to tzedakah, and he gave him another year for his kingdom. So the fact that Daniel gave that eitzah, he was punished. So you see, you don't give an eitzah to a Russia. So why you give an eitzah here to Hordus? He's not a goy, he's a evet. Evet is chayv mitzvahs. He therefore should point out, you see, he was still evet. Why is he still evet? Some say he's still evet because there was some family of Beis Yisrael that were left. Even though it says everybody died, there was some distant family, so he was still owned by them. Beis Hamikdash will not be built without malchus. There's no other choice, no other way to do it. It says the Gemara, "V'Daniel minon dionish." How do you know Daniel got punished? It says the Esther called Hosoch. Hosoch is Daniel. The Hosoch is called Hosoch because he was removed from his Gdula, he was a lower level. Understood? If he was the very important person in the kingdom, where was he punished? They put him into the lion's den. The first Pashas means, yeah, but he was saved from there. But the second version understands that was the punishment for Daniel, the scare, the fear there was by the lions. Okay, back to the Hilchos. So a doubtful place where they build a fence made out of leaves and reeds, that's good enough. Taisus and Beis Hamikdash says, but not less than that. So if the minig medina do less, you don't go based on minig medina. If it fell, it belongs to both. What's a chiddush? I fell into the shus of one. One took it to his rishus. And the Rishonim say it would be called the alim gvar. Maybe you can't take it out. That's the chiddush. And here the Rishonim discuss different ways to explain it. Either the pshat is because the chotzer belongs to both, or like Rashi says, or Rashi sounds like saying, or because the suffix started before the chazaka, as Taisus and Beis Hamikdash says, or as the Rashi brings in parentheses, as we learned in Bava Metzion, when you have two partners, they're not makbid on each other. In a garden, if you place, you put a fence, you're mechayiv. If you look at the Mishnah, it says the begino moku shenogu ligdor, place that you know it right there. Mechayivim oisui. Mashma has stomo. There's no minok. Ein mechayivim oisui. And I say, look at the next part of the Mishnah. About biko or valley. Moku shenogu shaloi ligdor. The meaning is not to be going there. Ein mechayivim oisui. Has stomo mechayivim oisui. Mashma stomo you do mechayivim what? To build a fence. So how can that be? Hashta stam gino amat loy stam biko yibai. In the beginning of the Mishnah Mashma, that stam you don't build a fence even in a garden. I'm sure you put out the garden is where you always have tvuos. It's more of ayin hara. So kosher can be biko. And then Mashma the biko you don't build. Abai says two answers. Abai says achkol mavichin stam gino ubimoko shino ligdor bebiko. Go to Abai moko shino go ligdor doesn't refer to a gino. It refers to the biko. So it's two things. Gino stam you do build it. And wherever you noeg bebiko, so there's no steer. So what does the next part of the Mishnah says? But we just spoke about a biko. Stam gino is a place where you do. But the Mishnah says that moko shenogel ligdor, not that that's the moko, that's the stomach. The way you read the Mishnah is gino is usually you have to build, and biko usually you don't have to build. Without saying anything. It's not talking about saying, talking about stone. You go inside and you make a sign that you built it. You tilt the top of the wall to the outside. Bring it to the inside. Because if you do it to the outside, so his friend will do it too. If he does it to the inside, his friend will do it to his own place. So you have a wall, you tilt it down towards the friend. If you tilt it towards you, maybe your friend will tilt it also towards him. Now if you tilt it towards your friend, maybe he's going to cut it. He's going to say it belongs to both. Gezuzzi made the idea. People know it's apparent when you cut it down. Some say, you tilt it to the inside. If your neighbor will buy tilt to the outside, guys, the chaver, his friend will take it down. This Ikidami holds, it won't be nikar. So now his friend is going to add to the wall towards him. As the first Pirush said, that would be a problem. You can see when you add an addition to the wall, which is already existing. The Loshat says you do to the outside. So the more kasha. Jay says now to Yupto, because the outside means outside of the wall. It could be towards the inside, but it's outside of the level of the wall. Yochanan says the Dalman base, Nishiyo be'amto milabar, you add with teeth, with tar, you put outside. Very similar to what we said before. I don't see it. Do it inside. His friend will do it from the outside, and he will say it belongs to both of us. He's going to take it off. Again, it's a parent going to take it out. So, what about when you're making out of leaves? You stick out some of the leaves outside. Put it inside. His friend will do it. So now he's going to take it out. He's going to say to both of us. Now, you don't see when you take out leaves. You put tar in it. Put plaster on it. So his friend's going to take it out the teeth. It's apparent going to take it out, similar to the previous answer. What it says with leaves is no etakono, but writing a star, even though we try to avoid writing a star, we write a star. So the moment also with Ashtain, deal with the both them, so then it is you put chazis in both. Why do you have to make a chazis in both sides? Just leave it empty, you know both build it. One did it. So if you learn with Chavriyah, that's what Israel has to do it, to show that it belongs to both. But to come to the Rama, Kamash wrong, you want to tell me it's a chiddush here, when a person did something wrong, you build a chozish to say it's fine when it's not his. Only the Reish will have to come to the Rama, so the Reish is. One building, what do? The whole chaz is to show it's mine and somebody else. Only the Reish Tani Dino, Shudina Tani Tekanto. In the Reish it says, what's the din? You build it, not somebody else. If you build it, don't forget to do it because of the Rama. The same just says build the chos in both. And you talk about a Rama. He says, no, the chiddush of Sefer is, really we don't have to tell you to do a chos in both. The reason we're doing it, because we talk about leaves. We're going to take away Abaye that said that when you have leaves, the only way to do it, you have to have a star. So the Mishnah, no, you can do a chazis. Even if you have a Rama, you do two chazis. And that's the reason the Mishnah mentioned it. Okay, zog the Mishnah. Somebody has a garden, comes somebody else and puts 3 gardens around it. So his friend has 3 gardens around it, and he puts a fence around it. Rashi learns he put a fence between the garden and his garden. Tosis and Bava Kama says he built the fence around all the gardens. So he did 3 sides. He's not obligated to pay. If he put the 4th fence, then he has to pay for the whole thing. We'll see in the Gemara who built the 4th fence. Says the Gemara, if you build the 4th fence, so then the middle garden needs to pay for the whole fence. So here, the question of this gear says here, because I'm always going to address it in a moment. It doesn't matter who built the 4th fence, if it's the makif or the nikaf. Once the 4th fence is built, he needs to pay, the middle garden has to pay for the fence. So you pay whatever the fence is, whatever the cost is. No, you pay the cheapest fence possible. Reeds. According to the Mishnah. So the surrounder put 3 fences. You don't make it, you don't make it pay. How should we do the 4th fence? You do pay. It's a diuk from the ratio. Let's see the next part of the Mishnah. If you build the 4th fence, you have to pay the whole thing. So what does the reason come to argue? The Tanakh already said 3 fences you don't pay. Mashra 4th you do. So what does the reason come to argue? According to Rabuna, this is the machlekes. You pay only the cheapest fence possible. He says no, you pay the entire fence. According to Chibarani, anyway, you pay the cheapest fence. What's the difference? Everybody agrees you pay the cheapest fence. So the Gemara brings a few answers. Answer number one, you pay for the extra netiruso, which means for the guard. The guy in the middle says, I don't need a fence. I only need, when I have my crops are growing, I need a guard. That's 2 months a year. I don't have to pay a whole fence. So the Tanakama says, pay something. But he says, you have to pay for the fence. The Tanakama says, you don't pay for the fence, you pay for a guard. You pay for the fence. Do you buy a similar answer? What about the first three fence? The Tanakama says, you pay for the fourth, not for the first three. You pay for the first three too. Rashi explains why you don't pay for the first three. The first three, it was already a done deal. You can't come afterwards and deal with it. The fourth one is what we're dealing with. Tais learns because the fourth one, you have undan das that he probably wants to pay for it. The Tanakama saw at time if the middle person build the fourth fence, then he told me, you see, you want a fence, pay for the other three. But if the surround to build it, you just pay for the fourth one again with undan das he wants to pay. If you saw if you almost the god and the guy on the sakoil, that it doesn't matter who built the fourth fence, you have to pay for it. According to these three things, the base is machna. Similar answer makif nikav, but here we're turning it around. The whoever built the fourth fence, the middle one has to pay. If the middle saw to build the fourth one, he was megaladas, but the outside one not. The roof is not great as this because according to this, the raise is not machmer. According to the Mekel, see the malach like more areas that very is machmer. This beautiful idea will be able. This will end that it says in the Mishnah, akor chatachai, akor ato, akor atanoilot, akor atachai, akor atid detending the cheshbon, and the one before that is akor atames. So it's right down. I think in the name of the Vilna Goyen. The first three, first it says, I don't want to be born. I don't want to live here. I don't want to do the cheshbon. But you say, when you die, you don't want to die. So that shows that the fourth one you want to build. You build the fourth one, then you have to pay all three. So very beautiful word. We'll stay with this, and the show continue with the film down on the top of the page.